my 6? Because obviously you haven't been getting it. My wife goes out there and gets pregnant by some other dude, because I can assure you it wasn't me. I'm not even going to go there. And then on top of that, I have to find out about it on social freaking media. I mean, okay, maybe you have been getting my 6. Maybe you've been doing me a favor by coming on the channel and congratulating me because Dearly's pregnant. Okay, I know she did a live video yesterday. I didn't watch it because I was busy doing other things, like taking care of the family I already have. So I need to go. Maybe she announced it. I don't know. This is hard to deal with. Just, you're going to have to forgive me if I lose my train of thought. I'm usually pretty good at piecing like 20 different topics together in one video, but this is news to me. Listen, I'm done procreating. I am done. Everybody's like, you and Dearly should have a baby, blah, blah, blah. No, I'm almost 50. If I have a baby now, I'm going to be 70 years old when this kid goes to college. I might actually want to stop working at some point in my life. You know what I mean? Nothing against people who have made the decision to have children later in life. To each his own. My own is, I'm done. So how do you think I feel finding out from you folks my freaking wife's pregnant? And I know it's not mine. That's the hardest part to accept. Okay, listen, and it's not for a lack of activity. I'm very responsible. We are very careful. You know, whatever. There's this guy used to come around here crying all the time about how mean his wife was to him. And he was going on one day about how he wasn't allowed to touch her. She wouldn't let him touch her, and she never touched him. I was like, dude, I have no way of relating to you because that's not my case. And I went in a little bit more detail because that was a private conversation. But I told him, look, I said, one of the reasons I stay so fit and active is so I can keep up with her. I mean, she's 15 years younger than me, and man, I got to do my best. And she's hot. It was like, look, if you've never seen her, here she is. Right? I'm not going to let myself get all fat and nasty when I'm married to a girl who looks like that. But obviously, my best has not been good enough. Obviously, I have not been taking care of the home fire, if you know what I'm saying, as I thought I was, because she's gone out there and got herself pregnant by someone else, obviously. If you'll notice, the camera's set up at a different angle this time. It's because I'm waiting on it. I don't think it's any her, it, or maybe they. Maybe she's got a secret life I don't know about. But you know this sucker that comes around here, walking around in like a lawn bag or a garbage bag or a sleeping bag or whatever. Everybody's got their own freaking things. It's usually to keep our eyes on that wood pile. Tell you what, he comes around now. Now that I know what's been going on, I got something for him. Brick upside the head. Get my wife pregnant. And then on top of it, like I said, I find out on social media. How do you think I felt when I started reading these comments? Listen to this. These are actual comments left by actual viewers. Actually, you might be one of them. I left the names out, okay? Number 1, I'm glad to see you and your wife on here. Praying for you and your family. Congratulations on your new child that's coming. I mean, are you actually congratulating me, or are you rubbing it in my face? And I have no clue. I was not even aware that my wife was pregnant. And again, trust me, I dot my I's and cross my T's. It ain't mine, okay? Here's another one. Congratulations, Mama and Daddy Man. Looks like your family is being increased. Another one. Congratulations, and don't overdo yourself at this time during your wife's pregnancy. Have the Bigfoot protect your home from the crazy ones that come on your property too. Hey, I'm not relying on Bigfoot Sasquatch to protect me from this dude creeping around here in his sleeping bag. Now, after all these years, we finally know what in the heck is going on. He better hope Bigfoot Sasquatch gets to him first. Number 4, congratulations on a new family member. You know, it'd be one thing, number 1, if it was planned, and number 2, if it was actually mine. 5, congratulations on your baby. Keep up your work online and personally. Thank you for your service. Carry on, you wayward son. Congratulations, Kevin. It's imperative that your genes promulgate in today's idiocracy. Tell me about it, man. I work on social media. The idiocracy I see, people coming on here acting like they know something. Idiots, so many of them. Some of the comments they leave, sheer idiocracy. And as much as I would like to further contribute to the gene pool to like offset that idiocracy with just a little bit of common sense, I didn't. I'm not Elon Musk or his father. Okay, may the Lord send you many blessings to you and your family in the newest edition. Amen from me and my wife and our little one, Moses. Get this one. I've been thinking about a pregnant dearly, and here it is. Congratulations. Oh, yeah, congratulations. My wife went out and got knocked up by some other dude, and I find out about it on freaking social media in your comments. Man, I could just go on and on. Just so many of them, I couldn't count them. Here, last one, then I'm going to move on because I've got to... Listen, dwelling on our problems certainly don't solve them. I've got to come up with the solution. I got to stop focusing on the problem and figure out the solution, okay? But last one. Congratulations, Kevin and Dearly and Daniel, on your new baby. I watch all of your videos until the very end. I love them so much. You inspire me. Oh, what's that? What's this going on back here? Oh, this is, listen, on top of training to be the fastest man over 50 in Central Virginia, on top of editing 8 to 10 hours a day, October Nights Part 2, 31 more tales for the Halloween season. My eyes are like seeing nothing but letters right now. And on top of, obviously, getting ready to welcome another baby into the world that is not mine, I've been spending a lot of time in the wood shop. Now listen, I've got the tripod set up very creatively, as do I these things. This is an art project. It's actually a set. It comes as a set, as a Halloween decoration. I call it Casper's Uncles and Their Little Friends, and a bunch of blocks that say boo. But hey. Okay, listen, I don't want to move the camera and give you a close-up, so I took a screenshot or a still image. Have a look for a close-up right now. What's that? Can you purchase that in my Etsy store? Absolutely. And with this new edition coming, I certainly hope that you do. And you better act quickly because supplies are going to run out fast because so far this is all I've made. All right. I'm going to stop focusing on my wife getting knocked up by some dude that's not me and finding out about it of all places here. From you guys. I guess you have been getting my six. Thanks for watching my back. Just can you do a better job next time and be a little bit more preemptive? Okay. Creepy story time submitted by viewers. Listen, keep sending me your stories. If I haven't gotten to them yet, it doesn't mean I'm not going to. They're just really coming in. So on top of all this other stuff I've been doing, been dealing with this too. First one, it's kind of short and very bittersweet. Comes to us from Rich Rusnick in Hastings, Pennsylvania, who has given me permission to use his name. And listen, if you want to share your story, but you don't want your name out there, tell me and I won't share your name. Somebody was a little upset because I guess some trolls are coming on here and clowning and frowning on them and making fun of their story. And listen, welcome to social media, as Lady Gaga calls it, the gutter of the internet, where every lowest common denominator in our society can hang out in their mommy's basement or whatever, their even less than desirable abode, home of residence, and hide out behind a computer as they shove Twinkies down their face and eat medications for illnesses that may or may not even pertain to them and draw their government checks and come on here and tell those of us who have the balls to get on here and put our face and our personality and the stories about our lives out here in front of other people, all these mean, nasty, terrible things, because they don't have the balls to do it themselves. Now, with that knowledge in mind, don't give no never mind about what these losers say. You should see the comments I get every day. Like these, informing me my freaking wife is pregnant, obviously by some other dude. So here we go. Rich Rusnick, Hastings, PA. He was driving down the road and he went past a bar one night. This is really a sad story. He saw his best friend's motorcycle out in front of the bar, so he stopped just long enough to go in to tell his buddy hi. Now, this guy had been his best friend for 30 years, more than 30 years, okay? When they were parting ways, because the guy was leaving to go home, his best friend stopped him, and he made him give him a hug. He said, nothing like this has ever happened in 30 years. That's what was odd about it. Not that his friend, wanted a hug, none of that, hey, bro, just don't make eye contact stuff, you know what I mean? It's just, it had never happened. Later that night, a drunk driver, a woman, hit and killed his best friend while he was out on his motorcycle, as well as, this guy's brother, not the best friend, but the guy who sent in the story, his brother was there on a motorcycle, and he had this woman, the drunk driver, had her ex-boyfriend on the back of the motorcycle. So this woman, in a drunken rage, I guess, bitter, jaded ex-lover, ran over his brother, killed her ex-boyfriend, then swerved over and ran over his best friend and killed him. His brother did survive. He was the only one that survived. He says in his message that the woman did 2 years in jail and she's out now. Terrible story, terrible story. Sorry for your loss. But you do have to wonder, and there's a story coming up in October Nights Part 2 that kind of pertains to this, about why it's like premonitions. Why all of a sudden, after 30 years, why now is it that you want to make sure that we embrace and a hug before we part ways? It's creepy, okay? I'm going to take a drink of water because I got gnats down here. And while I'm doing it, I'm going to make sure this joker isn't back here. If he thinks he's going to come around here and get my wife pregnant again while he's already got her pregnant once, he's got something else coming. Y'all better make sure you pause the video and go buy this before someone else does. Get on my books, get Dearly's Peanuts, get everything we're selling on Etsy, because apparently we got a baby on the way and we need the money. All right, here comes a story that was actually sent to me a few days ago. It's a little longer, and I wanted to make sure to take the time to do it right. That's why I put a couple stories in front of it. This is a good one, folks. This is a good one, and this shows that there are people out there with abilities, powers, if you call them, that a lot of people don't have, but that a lot of people do. And this is why I'm so glad you're sharing your stories with me so I can share them with the viewers. This is long overdue. Just for years, I had my own hesitations in doing this, but I covered that thoroughly in the video I made the other day, titled something like "The Time Has Come for Me to Say Goodbye," etc., etc. And I know you guys know exactly what I said in that one because you watched that one all the way until the end as well, didn't you? All right, on with the story. This lady has requested that I keep her name out of the story, so I am going to read it with her being kept anonymous. Okay, here it goes. This is very hard for me to do, but I trust you. I was born with a veil. That means I had an extra sac around me that needed to be removed by the doctor, so then the nurse could clean me up. I was brought home in Tacoma, Washington, which is ironically, I've been out there, Fort Lewis. That's my buddy Travis Daigle, Fighting Past 40. Go like his channel. Dude is so motivational. He has brought me out of this shadow I was kind of hiding in to come out here and let you guys do, send me your stories and do the woodworking. I've been wanting to do this for like a year and a half or 2 years. I started to ease into it and stopped because I don't want to do that. Travis has convinced me to live the best whole entire life I can live. Just in time, because I'm going to need the extra money from these projects since I got this baby on the way. So anyway, Fighting Past 40. Go subscribe and watch. The guy's very motivational. Former U.S. Army Green Beret, served in Afghanistan. Hero, okay? Okay, so I was brought home to Tacoma, later moving to a different town at the age of 1.5. My grandma said all was well up to my second birthday. My parents had sat me in the middle of the floor in the living room with a few stuffed animals. Upon returning, my mother had noticed that the stuffed animals were placed in a circle around me with their backs pointing inwards, like 360 security, full perimeter. Grandma said it was as if the animals were guarding me. My parents flipped out, so I was told. They were even accusing each other of playing a joke. Little things here and there would be out of place. That's my grandma's opinion. At the age of 3, maybe 4 years of age, I somehow got outside and I went walking around. A car stopped and grabbed me. I didn't know these people. They were a man and a woman. According to my mother, I'd been missing for 4.5 hours. The couple had dropped me off across from a police station. They left me on the side of a busy road. A police officer was walking in the station's parking lot when he saw what just happened. He ran through the traffic and scooped me up into his arms. Then he carried me to his work. My parents had already filed missing reports, so they knew who I was already, the police. My parents arrived quickly. The officer that brought me in didn't get any description of the car or the man and the woman. Both of my parents took me home in silence. Later the next day, I tugged on my mother's pant leg and I announced I knew what the couple looked like. They didn't believe me, so I included the brown Datsun. Being that young, I had no idea what the cars were called. Skipping ahead a few years, when I was about 6 years old, I felt sick to my stomach, and when I looked down after hearing something strange, I saw bright blue jagged streaks around a plug-in. All of a sudden, I was feeling great but very scared. I quickly pulled the blankets up to my chin. I felt something jump up on the bed. The fear turned into comfort. I could hear the purr of a cat and could feel all 4 paws circling on my legs. Then it laid down and purred louder. Next morning, I went to where my mother was. I told her everything that I saw and felt. Her reaction was, "It's a dream, just go play." A few months went by, and every night at exactly 12:15, I could hear heavy boots walking up in the attic. At first, it walked towards the stairs leading down, but never went down the stairs. One night, at the same time, something felt different. I sat up in bed, hearing the heavy footsteps, but this time they were coming down the stairs. I wasn't afraid. A picture popped into my head, only to see myself sitting on the floor and watching the stuffed animals turning so they were facing outward, like when she'd been a baby. Then I heard my name being called from the other side of the door. It ended just as fast as it started. Skipping ahead several years, everything was the same every night, but I now know the name of the spirit, Thomas. He informed me that he would protect me and that he has known me for many moons. Grandma knew what was happening. All she did was smile and said, "I told you, you were special." Grandma lived on the same property as my parents. She was walking to my parents' house with me when then we saw one of our cats that we'd recently gotten had a bird in its mouth. Of course, I ran ahead, catching the cat. I removed the bird from the cat's mouth while crying. The bird was deader than dead. Mom went to get a small box so I could give the beautiful bird a funeral. Mom came out with the box, and by this time I was crying so hard. Grandma touched my arm to get my attention. She said, "Clear your mind from everything except for the bird. Cup your hands around the bird." I was then told to let the tears drop upon the bird and wish it well, so I did. A minute later, there was movement in my hands. Tears dried up, and a sudden happiness grew outward from my heart. I sat down, held out my arms toward the sky, opened my hands, and the bird flew away. My grandma was so proud of me, but for my parents, I was a freak. Through the years, I started predicting earthquakes, storms, when stars were falling, anything natural that could do damage around the area that I was in. Grandma just said, "See, you're getting stronger every day." When shopping, I would start crying after a group of people walked by. I was feeling what one of the females was feeling. I could see what made her sad, a very abusive boyfriend. Turning around, I raised my voice and said, "You stay with him, he will kill you." She stopped and turned around with her mouth open. I walked off with Grandma. By now, I was a freak that was making my parents nervous whenever I was around them. I loved to read, trying to figure out what was wrong with me, why I could see and hear things that other people could not. By now, I could hear, see, and feel things that normal people couldn't. I could enter into the dreams of friends, make things move without touching the objects. My grandma set me down and started to tell me that my great-great-grandfather was Crazy Horse, and he too could do what I could. She then tells me the reason why your father doesn't love you is because he wanted a son. My mother became pregnant 8 times, and out of all the babies, I was the only one to survive. The other babies were stillborn, and they were going to be boys. They were boys. I literally killed his dream, I was told, so my mother is afraid of me, and my father hates me. Thomas is very much in my life still and always will be. I get warnings when something is about to happen to me. My visions are vivid now. I have seen a UFO with my ex-husband and his family. I have heard and interacted with tree knocking. I have a son that loved chasing them. She's talking about the Bigfoot Sasquatch here, the others, through the woods. I knew they would not hurt him. I believe they protect us from what might come out of portals. Being Native American Indian, I believe in the supernatural / paranormal. It's kind of like seeing it and hearing it is just another day. One day my son was arguing with someone in his bedroom, so I listened closely. He was taunting someone or something. Later that night, he woke up screaming that the man with the mask was going to get him. This went on for a few years every damn night. I asked him who he was taunting, and he told me that he was basically bullying Thomas. So all this time, night after night, of seeing a mask running after him, I raised my voice and I asked, did you think that your bullying Thomas wasn't going to have any repercussions? I yelled at Thomas to stop and grow up. I told my son to quit picking on Thomas. That night, no more nightmares. She ended by saying, there's more to the story, but if you think it's boring, I won't send it. I don't think it's boring, and she did send it. I'm going to paraphrase it for you. I didn't print it off. It's very graphic, and there's some details that I'm certainly not going to share in detail. But basically, later in life, she would end up having a roommate who just flipped their crap. It would probably be my assumption this individual probably had borderline personality disorder, because that's what they do. They just lose their crap over the least little nothing or absolutely nothing at all. And they attacked her. Could have been psychotic, could have been demonic possession. Very similar to BPD. They hurt her bad. And she included some pictures that showed scars. Certainly not going to include this on the channel. But here's the eerie part. She went on to say that the person that attacked her has since succumbed to they're going to die from an illness. I'm not going to say what, but they are on their deathbed. And she has informed me that Thomas visits this person, and she kind of alluded to the idea that she believes Thomas has a hand in it, or had a hand in it. There's no doubt in my mind. There's no doubt in my mind. So folks, there you have it. Again, I don't know what I'm going to do about this whole thing about my wife getting pregnant by some other dude and me finding out about it on social media. I mean, you know, there's this theory out there that pregnancy is contagious. And they tell guys like, oh, if your wife's friend's pregnant, keep her away from her because she's going to get pregnant too. You're next. Guys, there must be truth to that. Because as you clearly know, all of you who left that comment on that video yesterday that you obviously watched in its entirety, our friend Jenny Jo's pregnant. I announced it in that video yesterday very clearly. And right now, as a matter of fact, Dearly is with Jenny Jo up in D.C., her and Daniel both. I swear I am putting in 10 to 12 hours a day to get this October Nights Part 2 done so that it's available in time for Halloween. I have a sister, wonderful sister, that wants to come spend time with us. We love to have her. And I had to tell her, sorry, we just can't have company for now because I've got to finish this book. I got one of my childhood best friends I've reconnected with. He's texting me. I think he's coming through I'm not going to be able to meet with him. Jenny Jo, who's pregnant, which you already know because I told you that yesterday in the video that all of you clearly watched in its entirety, came down here, got Dearly, got Daniel, took them up to D.C. for like a week so I could have time alone to finish this book and make these really awesome things. Maybe it is contagious and she got the pregnancy contagion from Jenny Jo. Okay, I'll give my beautiful bride the benefit of the doubt. She's never strayed. I have no reason to believe she ever would. So let's say pregnancy is contagious and she caught it off of Jenny Jo. Let's just go with that for now. See you for more next time. And yes, I am a man brat. But just in case,